FORA.tv. The world is thinking.
I was an English major, so I had no useful skills when I got out of college. And so I got a job because I wanted to write. I got a job at a newspaper called the Daily Local News, which is the real name of a newspaper in Westchester, Pennsylvania. And it's just what it said. Daily, if you don't count Sunday as a day. Daily Local News. Local news. And this was a kind of a small town, classic small town paper. While I was there, we actually published a story with the following headline, which nobody noticed until it got in the paper. Woman beats off would-be rapist. So that's the Daily Local News style of editing. And we were like very, very local. We would during the summer, when local residents would have gardens, if somebody grew a zucchini that was like unusual, like it would look like Winston Churchill or something, that Larry McDevitt, our photographer, would go take a picture, and we'd run that on the front page of the Daily Local News. And if you think about it, a lot of zucchini do look like Winston Churchill. So that was a kind of a staple of our coverage of the. And so that's the world I came to as an English major, and I was assigned to cover the borough of Downingtown, Pennsylvania, specifically the Downingtown Area Regional Sewage Authority. That was my big thing, and it was as you would imagine, it was the authority for all the sewage in the Downingtown region, and I knew nothing about sewage. But I would have to go to these meetings where these guys would talk for hours about sewage and sewer interceptors and things like that. And despite not really knowing anything about it, I would write long stories about, and to this day, I don't really know what I was writing about. I don't know why you would intercept sewage, for one thing. But it's kind of interesting. It all kind of went, with me and sewage, it kind of went in a big circle, so to speak, because years later, when I was a columnist, I actually got involved again with the sewage industry. What happened was, I wrote a column making fun of North Dakota. And has anybody ever heard of it? Okay, it's a state, North Dakota, and it's losing population. Like wolves are eating them or something, And they want people to come there. Like if you go there, they'll pull you over and say, "Hey, you want to be in the legislature?" And so they had this idea a few years ago. They decided the image of the state of North Dakota was not good. People didn't have a positive image of North Dakota, and that's why nobody went there, and why people wanted to leave there. So they're talking about ways to improve the image of North Dakota, and one of the ideas they came up with, which was seriously considered, was to change the name of the state. And from North Dakota to Dakota. Very good. Doesn't that make you just want to go? Right? Or run out, right? I'm going to Dakota, Anyway, I thought that was really stupid, and I wrote a column viciously mocking that idea. And that was one of the biggest mistakes I ever made in my journalism career. Do not mess with North Dakota, okay? You don't learn anything else tonight, learn that. First of all, I got an angry letter from everybody in the state. Which is nearly 115 letters. And second of all, and this was the fiendish part of the North Dakota revenge scheme, they invited me up there in January and dedicated a sewage lifting station in my honor. So it's absolutely true. If you go to Grand Forks, North Dakota, for any reason, such as your plane has crashed there, there is a brick building, and I say in all modesty, it's a little bit of a tourist attraction. Every now and then somebody sends me a picture of himself standing in front of it, and it's brick building, and on it in foot-high letters says Debary Lift Station number 16. And inside is the equipment that lifts the sewage, which is a concept also I don't understand. I would leave the sewage down there, but in North Dakota they lift it, because they're bored. Let's see, So anyway, so this big ceremony, this big dedication ceremony, and they had put a brown piece of paper over the sign, and it was like a very cold day. It was one of the coldest days I've ever experienced. It was like 20 below zero, and they had some official people and some media people and some members of the actual public, and we're standing out there freezing in front of this building with this piece of paper over the sign. And the mayor of Grand Forks read a proclamation dedicating the sewage lifting station in my honor, and very eloquently comparing my work to the production of human excrement. And then at the big moment, they had me tear the piece of paper off the side. And I remember standing there and seeing my name on the side of this building and smelling the sewage in the cold North Dakota air and hearing whoop, 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 which is the sound of people applauding in mittens. So my point is, sewage has been kind of a theme running through my career from beginning to end.